G'day! In today's video, I'm talking about what to do when your machine won't power on and you're required to get the data off it. So in this particular one I'm opening up, which is an ASUS F555Y, which I do believe I have done a video on one of these models before, but not for this particular purpose. So to begin with, you've got to make sure that Windows is working. If Windows isn't working and you still require your data, then we usually escalate it to another level, which involves tearing down the machine to get to your hard drive, and then we'll be using a 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure, which looks kind of like this here. So your hard drive, if I could find an example, nope, I can't find an example. So I'll just continue to open this up. Granted, I'm not being overly model specific on this, so I'm not really doing much of a teardown or explanation on what I'm doing here exactly, apart from getting the screws out to get into the machine. In some laptops, you may only require to do a single cover and you can get access to the hard drive. In this particular model, we have to do a bit of fiddling around. We have to take the bottom screws out, flip it over, separate it, and then remove the keyboard away from the rest of the machine. So if we get to here, I'm going to have to pry into it. But what the intent here is, if let's say your Windows is completely cracked, you can't get it to boot, and you have critical information you need to get off there, or family photos, or whatever it may be, this is the particular method that I would go down that usually has a fairly good success rate, which would involve taking the hard drive out, putting it into a hard drive enclosure, and then from there connecting it to another computer. Bingo. We're getting in now. So if I disconnect here and here, pull that out of the way. Now getting a bit more access into the machine. As you can see, to hopefully the slightly trained eye, is right here is the hard drive. That there is the part that contains your personal photos, your copy of Windows, pretty much everything. So that is the part that I need to get to. Stick that there temporarily. Best case scenario that your copy of Windows has either corrupted because it's failed to do a Windows update, or you turned it off halfway through doing an update, or whatever reason, malware even, which is pretty rare for that nowadays, or you have a hard drive failure. But either way, we're going to have to get in there to get to this drive to connect it up. If you do have a desktop computer, you'd be able to take out this and connect it directly to a desktop computer, as these connections here, power and data, are identical. So if you wanted to, you could run a laptop hard drive in your desktop computer. I wouldn't really recommend it, as the speed of the laptop hard drives is normally slower than the desktop counterparts, but it is possible if you really have to go down that path. But what I'm wanting to do is, from here, I will be connecting it to the dock, plugging it into the dock, connecting it to the desktop computer, and just seeing if it can find the hard drive. Hear the da-dung, Windows has discovered the drive. Also on my particular machine, I've got a dock right here. But for the sake of this video, I will just talk about it being in this. So if we go up to here, we can see that Windows has already discovered the drive. We've got the OS drive here, everything's showing up as it should. I use a program called HD Tune, and this particular one gives me an idea of the health of the drive. So if I go here, change it to here, and go info. Typically on here, if I see current pending sectors and gets flagged as yellow, typically that means it's a failing hard drive. In this instance, it's not, so that is a good sign. From here, I'll click on Start Benchmark, and being that this is connected via USB 2, it's going to max out about 40 meg. But the biggest thing I'm concerned about, that I know is alright, is I can get into the user data, which would typically be in your OS drive, or it may come up as D or DEF drive. But when you see this bit that's got Windows, Profiles, Users, you'd want to go into the Users folder, and in there you want to find your username. So you'll double click on your username. You will see this. You don't currently have permission to access this folder. We click continue. You may have to do that repeatedly until it finally lets you into the machine. So that is one thing you may encounter. But do persist with it, and that should get you into essentially documents, desktop, photos. So you should be able to access the majority of info. So if I skip to C drive, go users, go rec, and from there you can see various documents on here. So you should be able to see a very similar thing once you've connected your laptop drive to another computer or a USB enclosure, and from there, hopefully if that hard drive isn't faulty, you can access the data that you require. I hope this helps, and I'll see you later. Bye.